you can navigate in your life, and the information that you would get would be very relevant to you, and that is exactly why.
Hello, and welcome to the Pacific Channel, where we talk about the law of attraction, how to manifest anything you want, meditation, and more. In this video, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the Big Bang Theory, how the universe is not only still expanding, but accelerating, and how we are able to use our heart and intuition to interpret vibration to know when things are going to happen before they actually happen. It's quite the explanation. First of all, when talking about the Big Bang Theory, he talks about how in every other case, an explosion doesn't cause order, it causes disorder and chaos. And if that is a scientific fact, then how did we get order from an explosion? And then, if you think about it, in all other cases of explosions, the energy dissipates and slows down to the point where it stops. But in our case of this universe, somehow and for some unknown reason, our universe is expanding at a faster rate all the time. I don't think Dr. Joe is trying to hide anything from us, but I think he's trying to get us to question scientific explanations without him coming right out and saying it. The point is that life is a miracle. All the evidence points to an intelligent source that created all things. And we are all connected to that source energy. We are all rays of source energy. We are the extension of it. The truth is, as Dr. Joe alluded to, we are vibrational beings and we interpret vibration all the time. We interpret vibrational sound with our ears, vibrational matter with our eyes, and vibrational matter with our sense of touch. We do the same thing with our ability to taste. We are masters of interpreting vibration, but we don't realize it. Our ability to interpret vibration is what gives us a common understanding of our world. Dr. Joe also talks about how matter is the slowest frequency that we perceive with our senses. But there are other vibrations before they slow down and become matter that we can tune into. We do that all the time through our hearts and intuition. Let's listen to Dr. Joe explain it now.
Let's go back to the veil thinning. The outcropping of three-dimensional reality from source, from singularity, that the universe is constantly expanding. In fact, now it's accelerating. So if it's accelerating in time, every moment is accelerating and expanding, there's got to be a point in time where it wasn't expanding, where it was before it was expanding, that starting point, that is source, that is that 0 point. There's that singularity moment, that source is what's slowing down frequency, and that point right where there is three-dimensional reality, that big bang that took place, typically creates a whole lot of disorder when there's an explosion. But there's a lot of order in the universe, and there's symmetry to planets, and things are floating in space, and there's pulls and gravity, and atoms doing certain things with strong and weak forces and gravity and all that stuff, and electromagnetism. We're all interacting, and those subtle forces are unifying and creating this type of order that exists in the universe. And so then at that very source, at oneness, at that point where there was no separation, that singularity moment, that oneness is what's giving birth, is pure consciousness, aware of everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, every time, because it's the very fabric that everything material sits in or experience, that we experience. So if you look at either one of the diagrams in Becoming Supernatural, or you have been to a week-long event, we talk about the vacuum, this nothing, this void where there was nothing yet. It was just space. It was emptiness. Traditions have talked about it in so many religions and cultures for thousands of years. And in order for matter to appear, a vibratory state has to be introduced into this vacuum, into this void. And matter is that most stable, slowest frequency that we perceive with our senses. So frequency then, of course, is the number of oscillations or vibrations per second. So as frequency slows down, if it keeps slowing down, then the wavelengths get longer, and matter is that one that is the slowest. It's the slowest frequency that we perceive with our senses. Okay, what does this have to do with intuition? Well, if you're practicing your meditation and you're synchronizing your heart to your brain, your heart is highly intuitive. Your brain may think, but your heart actually knows. Okay, so you're working on brain coherence, and you're causing your brain to work in a more orderly fashion where the entire brain is resonating to a frequency. That's a strong signal that the brain has. As you slow your brain waves down, you start to dampen down the thinking neocortex. You're carving a path actually between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. You're actually building nerve fibers, nerve trunks. If you keep traveling down that road, you got to build a bigger freeway in time because there's more traffic, there's more information. So the more you practice this and you go off and you make the wrong turn and you realize you become conscious, the only way you actually get better at paying attention is when you notice that you're not paying attention. That's the only way you can. So then you catch yourself going unconscious and not paying attention. You go back and you start again. You keep practicing slowing your brainwaves down, and we have data to say that our community does it really well. We can do it pretty quickly, and in fact. So then, as you open the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you slow down brainwave frequencies in your thinking brain. Then, of course, there's only one other place it goes. It actually goes right into that limbic brain. We have such profound data to show that the middle part of the brain becomes like a tuning fork to energy and frequency. And if you can get into theta, wow, everything's shut off that you are connected to, that you think is real in three-dimensional reality. What plugs you in, the mechanism, the neocortex, that whole thing is turned way down. The volume's turned way down there, and you're not very conscious of your outer world or your body or time. And in that theta state, you tune into energy and frequency. You're going to get your nervous system tuned, like a tuning fork to pick up frequencies. So as frequency slows down from source and it gets slower and slower, there's a frequency right before matter, before the event actually takes place. That frequency before it becomes matter is what your intuitive limbic brain is actually processing. It's picking up information that's about to happen, and you can get really good at doing that. And you can get so good at doing it, you could actually know things and it would resonate with your heart. It wouldn't be like you're trying to predict it based on calculating it and figuring it out or using anything that's known. It's just pure information that's coming from the field, and that's happened to me throughout my own personal journey. In the beginning, I didn't want to trust it. I just thought it was just another thought, but it was a different type of feeling that went along with it that caused me to go, that's different. And then when I started seeing it playing out, then I started saying, I knew that was going to happen. And actually, I knew that was going to happen, and I traced it to the fact that I had the thought at some point. And so you can actually get better at distinguishing between when it is actually an impulse or you're getting a download or whatever you want to call that. You're getting information, because the more coherent that autonomic nervous system is, the more it's tuned, the more you're relaxed in your heart and awake in your brain, the more you have coherence in the brain and heart. That's more like a laser, and it's coherent light. A laser can read all kinds of things, and it's more condensed and it's more powerful. So when the nervous system is aligned to a destiny or to a future energetically, you can actually pick up the impulses of what's about to happen if you keep tuning it. And so you're reading information. Your limbic brain, your subconscious, is actually saying, let me supply some information. Your heart, of course, has a very strong way of receiving that information, because it is a magnet. It kind of receives the information, it gets in the heart, and the heart knows that it informs the brain with an impulse or a signal. The heart is informing the brain. You're getting information now, not from your cell phone or some app or some social media thing or some TV station or from anything in your environment, from another person. You're actually getting information by your connection to that slowest frequency before it becomes matter. And you can get so good at this that You can navigate in your life, and the information that you would get would be very relevant to you. And that is exactly why we continue practicing synchronizing the heart to the brain. Our data shows over and over again that if you can get relaxed in your heart, as I said, and awaken your brain, your nervous system starts to tune into energy and frequency. And that frequency and energy, that other 99.99% of reality that we are unaware of, that is actually what your body is made of as well, starts resonating to a greater level of order. And that's how the veil thins. This is another way for us to see that there is information that can come from us that's not coming from visible light. It's not coming from the spectrum of light and shadows and colors bouncing off of objects that give them the appearance of separation. You're picking up a frequency that's not visible light, and visible light is that small spectrum on the visible light spectrum. So there's a whole lot of other frequencies that we can actually tune into. The slower it gets, the closer we get to matter. If your nervous system's entrained, you can get information before the event.
So, according to Dr. Joe, when you practice slowing your brainwaves down, you open the door between the subconscious mind and conscious mind. You also open up the pineal gland, which becomes like a tuning fork to energy and frequency. And then your nervous system gets tuned. He also said that there's a frequency right before something becomes matter that your intuitive limbic brain picks up on, which is why and how our intuition works. This information is pure information that doesn't require any data analysis. In other words, we have the ability to know things without having to do any analysis to come to a conclusion. It comes to us as a hunch, or as a download, or as an impulse. So the more we meditate in this way, the more that we get our brain and our hearts into a coherence, then the more we can get information from the quantum field beforehand, before things manifest. This can also explain how all of us are psychic, in a way, able to somewhat predict what's about to happen. But even better, we can create our future reality by believing that we can be, do, and have whatever we want. It's truly an exciting time to be alive because we are the ones who are blazing the trail of human potential. This community of people are proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can heal anything and manifest anything once we get the formula right. And what is the formula? It's simply to get relaxed in the heart and aware in the brain. It's about it's about brain and heart coherence. It's also about feeling good no matter what is going on in our lives. So we can't just do it while we meditate. We must take the vibration and bring it into our daily lives as much as possible. We must become more consciously aware of when we fall out of consciousness so that we can bring ourselves back into consciousness. And when you do that successfully, you can be, do, and have whatever you want. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button too so that you get our latest videos. Comment below about how it's going for you. Repeat. And now comment below about how it's going for you when you try to be conscious during your day. Thank you for watching and have a great day or night.